Hello Step, I ask you to subscribe to the channel, to strengthen us to put better content on the channel. Panic is a movie from 1990 SIXS slasher genre, a style in horror films that is characterized by the killer killing randomly and wearing a mask. It was written by Kevin Williamson and directed by Wes Crave, who also directed its 3 sequels, with Scream 4 being his last work in life. He is also famous for creating the character Freddy Krueger and the A Nightmare on Elm Street film series. In the cast of Scream there are names like Neve Campbell, Skeet Ulrich, Courteney Cox, David Arquette, Drew Barrymore, among others. Sidney Prescott, Neve Campbell, is a grieving teenager who lost her mother a year ago. When the first death occurs in the city, on the anniversary of her mother's death, Sidney has all her traumas brought to light. It doesn't help that Gale Wheaters, Courteney Cox, a local reporter, is publishing a book about how the murderer of Sidney's mother might actually be innocent. It all gets worse when the Ghostface Killer, as he was nicknamed for his iconic ghost mask, starts calling Sidney and chasing her. The city of Woodsboro then begins to be the scene of a sequence of brutal murders. Ghostface's main method is to call his victims and start the conversation with a series of horror movie questions. The whole tone of Scream is about the cliches in horror movies. It is a film that satirizes the genre itself. Cast and characters. All the characters are well caricatured from horror works. Neve Campbell's Sidney is the young woman resigned to her past and who ends up clinging to it, letting it affect her relationships, especially with her boyfriend Billy Loomis, Skeet Ulrich. The rest of the supporting characters, with the exception of Gale Wheaters, Courteney Cox, and Dwight Dewey Riley, David Arquette, are shallow and the viewer doesn't really know if they'll survive until the end. The comic relief comes from one of Sidney's friends, Randy Meeks, Jamie Kennedy, a horror movie aficionado who links the city's deaths with the cliches present in these works. But the highlight of the film is Skeet Ulrich and his performance as Billy. To avoid spoilers, the safest thing is to say that the development of this character is unpredictable. Or not, if the viewer listened carefully to Randy. Direction and photography. Wes Craven directed Scream with the perfection of a horror movie enthusiast. No wonder it was a renowned name in this area. The chase and death scenes capture the original essence of a classic horror movie well, but still with a touch that satirizes them. The murders are violent on an exaggerated level, but they match very well with what the story proposes to the audience. Scenography and costumes. The film is set in the small town of Woodsboro, California, and the sets capture this inner city essence well, with teenagers fleeing to a secluded house and partying amidst a murder spree and curfew. But what the film really immortalized in the popular imagination was the killer's fantasy. A simple ghost mask managed to establish itself as the nightmare of many who watched this movie, and to this day it is a great costume for Halloween. Overall, Panic is a great film that, while using the formulas already known from a horror movie, ironizes them in the right measure. A few good scares with a precise dose of satire. And you, reader, have you watched Panic? Were you more scared or did you find it funny? Tell in the comments.